Family, and welcome to a milestone moment in LifeWave's journey towards enhanced well-being. I'm thrilled to unveil something truly remarkable, our latest leap in health innovation, 2 brand new LifeWave nutritional supplements. Now, in our relentless pursuit of excellence, LifeWave has always been at the forefront of harnessing the body's natural healing powers. Our patches, especially the Star Performer X39, have revolutionized how we approach health and vitality. Today, we're taking this revolution a step further. We are introducing 2 groundbreaking supplements to be available later this year, each meticulously designed for day and night to work in perfect harmony with our LifeWave patches, amplifying the benefits of our hero, the X39, and all other LifeWave patches. Taken together as a holistic approach to well-being, these supplements optimize the power of our patches in ways you'll be able to see and feel in short order. Years in the making, we're finally in a good enough place where we can safely say our competition doesn't even come close. At LifeWave, we don't just create products. We create promises of a holistic approach to health, of innovation, of a life lived not just longer, but better. These supplements are not mere additions, they're a manifestation of our vision. A vision where every product interconnects, supporting and enhancing your health journey at every step. So I invite you to join us on this exciting journey. Experience the power of synergy with LifeWave's new supplements and our X39 patch. Embrace a life of heightened health, peaceful relaxation, and revitalized energy. Together, let's not just live, let's all live well. And now, to dive deeper into the science that makes this all possible, I am honored to hand over the stage to the visionary behind LifeWave, our CEO, founder, and mastermind of LifeWave technology. Please join me in welcoming David Schmidt as he unfolds the scientific wonders behind these revolutionary supplements.
It's now time to unveil a very special project that we've been working on at LifeWave. And this is a nutritional formula which is complementary to all of our LifeWave daytime patches. Now, let me explain. Let's say that you are a vegan or a vegetarian, and you want to use the LifeWave X39 patch. You may be missing some things in your diet that would complement and enhance the use of the X39 patch. For example, you may not be getting enough copper in your diet or enough glycine in your diet. And these would be things that would limit the production of peptides like GHKCU. So what we've been working on and what we've now developed is a special nutritional formula that complements the activity of all of our LifeWave patches. So regardless of what type of diet that you have or your daily nutrition, this one formula does it all. So let's dig in on the details. We have 2 formulas. The first one we call LifeWave Energize, and it's designed to be used either once or twice per day. The important thing to know about this formula is that it complements the use of all of our LifeWave daytime patches, but also importantly, as you're about to see, this unique nutritional supplement is also designed to complement and enhance the activity of the stem cells in the body. Let's dig into this in more detail. First, the general ingredient profile. What we've included in this formula are a variety of compounds that normally you would have to supplement with separately, or you'd have to design your diet to get these nutrients. So we're making this very convenient where you can take this formula once or twice per day and get all of the nutritional needs that are required for the optimum use of the patches. So we have things like the amino acid glycine, which is used in elevating glutathione and elevating copper peptide. NAC, which is critical for the production of glutathione, lysine, which is also important in the production of copper peptide, and so forth. But what do each of these nutrients do individually, and why did we include them? First thing, let's talk about the amino acid glycine. Glycine is an amino acid, and it is a precursor to GHKCU and glutathione. One of the other things that's important to know about glycine is that it will help to support the role of stem cells in the body. Here is a clinical study that was done on just glycine and the activity of stem cells. In this study, which is entitled Glycine Cleavage System Determines the Fate of Pluripotent Stem Cells via the Regulation of Senescence and Epigenetic Modifications, demonstrated that enhancing the diet with glycine would support the activity of stem cells in the body. So we're seeing benefits not only from glycine's use as a precursor to copper peptide, but also individually as a very powerful signaling molecule in just being an amino acid. So we've included glycine in this formula. Now, patches that are synergistic with glycine include an entire variety of patches, as you can see. So the role of glycine in elevating copper peptide, which supports the X39 patch, is very easy to understand. In addition, glycine is used to form glutathione in the body. So glycine would make an excellent companion to our glutathione patch. We also see that glycine, because it plays a role in muscle growth, would be a great complement for X49 and also for our carnosine patch. Now, glycine is also associated with the health of the nervous system, and as a result, stress reduction. So, for example, when you elevate antioxidants like glutathione because of enhanced glycine intake, that is going to reduce stress on the nervous system, and that makes it complementary with EON. So glycine has been included in this formula for that reason. Now, the next nutrient in this nutritional formula is NAC, or N-acetylcysteine. Now, NAC is lacking, or I should say cysteine is lacking from people's diets today because they're not taking in enough eggs or enough dairy products for other health reasons. So often people have to resort to a N-acetylcysteine supplement in order to support the levels of glutathione in the body. So we have included NAC in this formula. Another very important thing is that we know that our body's levels of glutathione are directly associated with our lifespan and our health. So not surprisingly, glutathione plays an incredibly important role in the health of the stem cells, and clinical studies will in fact show that. So here's a really interesting image, and this has to do with the effect of glutathione and stem cells. And this was a method that was identified to rejuvenate old stem cells. So this is so critically important to understand, because in biology, we often think that aging is just a one-way street. We are born, we age, and then we die. But now it's being shown through a variety of different methods that even something as simple as glutathione can reverse the age of the stem cells. Not surprisingly, NAC is complementary for a whole host of LifeWave patches, including X39 and glutathione. In addition, we see that because glutathione is the body's master antioxidant and it plays such an important role in the health of our immune system and suppressing inflammatory and oxidative stress. It really becomes a great complement to all of our LifeWave daytime patches. Now, the next ingredient that we've included in the LifeWave Energize daytime formula is the amino acid lysine. Now, when we think of lysine, we often think of its benefits for the immune system. But of course, we've included it because lysine supports the formation and is necessary for copper peptide. But not surprisingly, lysine by itself as an amino acid has also been shown to support the health and the proliferation and differentiation of stem cells in the body. Here's a clinical study that shows that the regulatory mechanism of lysine acetylation is in mesenchymal stem cells. Now, MSCs, as they're often referred to, was something that we studied during our stem cell research at the Regenerative Medicine Institute at the National University of Ireland. And what's important about this type of stem cell is that it releases growth factors. So when we want to heal from injury, this will in part be dependent upon the health and activity of this type of stem cell. So what's great to know is that lysine will support the health of these stem cells, as well as supporting copper peptide. So we've included it in our daytime formula for that reason. Patches that are synergistic with lysine include X39, glutathione, and X49. Now, the next ingredient that we've included is copper, and we've included it in the form of copper glycinate. Copper is extremely underrated as a nutrient, and most people do not get enough copper in their diet. It's required, of course, to make copper peptide, and peptides like GHK and AHK have an extremely high affinity for binding with copper, and hence some of the special attributes that these peptides have. Interestingly enough, in clinical research, it's been found that copper supports the migration of stem cells. Copper, of course, has also been used to historically suppress infection in the body, so it's extremely antimicrobial. So it's very important to get enough copper in your diet. So here's a clinical study that shows the relationship between copper and stem cells. And again, what we see here is that copper promotes the migration of stem cells that are in the bone marrow, these MSCs. And this is important because when we have an injury in the body, the stem cells need to be released either from fat deposits or from the bone marrow so they can do their job. And copper helps to facilitate this process. So patches that you would find that would be synergistic with getting enough copper would, of course, be X39 and X49, but also LifeWave. The reason for this, it's been found that when people have higher levels of copper, it makes them more resistant to pain. So if you've been suffering with a chronic pain, it could be that one of the things that you can do, which is incredibly simple and inexpensive, is simply increase your daily intake of copper. Now, the next nutrient that we've included in this formula is beta-alanine. Now, beta-alanine, of course, is an amino acid, and it is also a precursor to carnosine and AHK-CU. Beta-alanine is incredibly important, and it's something that each of us should be consuming daily. The reason is that, as we've previously discussed, lifespan can be dramatically enhanced by elevating carnosine, not only to mention the direct lifestyle improvements we get from elevating carnosine, such as improvements in cognition, improvements in strength, stamina, and overall muscle density, as well as improving the health of the heart and the cardiovascular system. So beta-alanine is something that you should be including in your daily diet. Now, of course, the other benefit to this is that beta-alanine is going to be supporting the activity of the stem cells in the body. Here's an interesting study showing the relationship between how carnosine protects against oxidative stress with intestinal stem cells. So a surprising finding, but nevertheless, that's a role that carnosine will play in the body. So patches that we have that are synergistic with carnosine and beta-alanine would, of course, include X39, glutathione, X49, the carnosine patch, and SP6. This is because that by getting an intake of beta-alanine and raising carnosine, it can help to regulate your blood sugar, which of course is another amazing benefit of beta-alanine. Now, another ingredient that we've included in the daytime formula is creatine, and in the form of creatine monohydrate. Now, often people are going to think about creatine as being a supplement only for athletes, and nothing could be further from the truth. It's been found that creatine, because it is an energy-carrying molecule, is incredibly important for cognition as well as the overall health and performance of the heart. So while athletes use creatine to improve the strength and the size of their muscles, improve their stamina, even if you're not an athlete, you're going to benefit from creatine. Now, during this research, I was very familiar with the benefits of creatine relative to athletes, but I was in fact surprised to find that there is a connection between creatine and stem cell activity. Here's a clinical study that shows that creatine is involved in supporting the health and the vitality of stem cells. Now, we are never going to make any type of claims that our products can be used to treat or prevent any type of disease or illness. So this information is just so you can understand that creatine is in fact important for the health and the vitality of stem cells. Now, because creatine plays such an important role in our health, not surprisingly, it is synergistic with all of our daytime patches. Now, another nutrient that we've included is selenium. Selenium, I think, is also fairly underrated. It can be found naturally in things like Brazil nuts, but many people are not getting enough selenium in their diet. Selenium is extremely important for the production of glutathione in the body, and interestingly enough, selenium has been linked to stem cell potency. So if we want to make our stem cells healthy and active, we want to make sure we're getting enough selenium in the diet. Here's a clinical study that's very interesting because it's showing how selenium is related to the wound healing process in the body. So many of you may suffer with an acute or chronic injury. Now, using something as simple as selenium will enhance the results that you're getting with the patches and support your overall wellness. So not surprisingly, as a result, having a supplement with selenium is going to be synergistic with X39, glutathione, carnosine, SP6, and energy enhancer. Another nutrient that would be important to include, because we have copper in this formula, would be zinc. Now, when most of us think of zinc, the first thing that we're going to think about is the health of our immune system. And absolutely, it is true that zinc plays a very important role in supporting the health and the vitality of immune cells in the body. And zinc by itself, when applied topically to different types of viruses and bacteria, can kill them on contact like copper. There's also a balance and a ratio between copper and zinc in the body. So we want to make sure that we include zinc because we're including copper. Not only that, and maybe not surprisingly, zinc will support the health and the proliferation of stem cells in the body. And here, in fact, is a clinical study showing how zinc enhances the migration and self-renewal potential of human umbilical cord MSC stem cells. So because of this, zinc is complementary to a number of our LifeWave patches, including X39, glutathione, X49, and Eon. Now, another nutrient that is important to include in this formula is potassium. Most people have a potassium deficiency because they're not getting enough in their diet, or they're getting too much sodium in the diet. Potassium can be used for a variety of different things in the body, such as helping to maintain healthy blood pressure. So many of you with hypertension may be simply lacking enough potassium. Something else that we know about potassium is that it can be used to help maintain the health of the cardiovascular system. It's an important electrolyte. And in studies that were done at Oxford, it was shown that potassium is the key nutrient that helps to maintain the balance of alkalinity to acidity in the body. So in other words, many people want to have an alkaline diet, and to do this, just simply increase your intake of potassium. Not surprisingly, because potassium is ubiquitous, it's found throughout the entire body, it also supports the health and vitality of stem cells. So here's a clinical study showing how the changes in potassium levels were directly related to the activity of human MSC stem cells. Because potassium is found throughout the entire body, because it plays such an important role in nearly every aspect of our health, you would expect that it is synergistic with all of our LifeWave daytime patches for a variety of different reasons. One interesting thing also about potassium is that it helps to support the body's levels of nitric oxide and can recycle nitric oxide. So what that means is, because nitric oxide is a vasodilator, it helps improve our circulation. One thing that we can do to help support our cardiovascular system in this way is to make sure we're getting enough potassium in our diets. Now, of course, another electrolyte that vast majority of the population, over 60% of the population, is deficient in would be magnesium. And magnesium, one of the key benefits is that it helps to bring our body into a state of relaxation. So, for example, magnesium can be used to help support healthy blood pressure levels. And in addition, magnesium taken before bedtime can help to support overall health and relaxation. Not surprisingly, as a result, magnesium supports the health of the nervous system. And of course, as you would expect, magnesium is required for the health and the vitality of the stem cells. So here's a clinical study showing the effects of magnesium on the growth and the proliferation of human embryonic stem cells. Because magnesium is found throughout the entire body and it plays a role in well over 300 different metabolic processes, as you would expect, all of the LifeWave patches are synergistic with intake of magnesium. Now, here's one that is a little bit surprising, but we have included fiber in this supplement, and most notably soluble fiber. First thing is, most people don't get enough fiber in their diet, so that was one good reason to include it. But because these are a powdered formula that you add to water, the fiber helps to give the product a little bit more body. So it's a very enjoyable experience to consume this formula. In addition, fiber is going to play, especially soluble fiber, is going to play a very important role in the health of our immune system. So here's a clinical study, again, maybe quite surprisingly, that there is a relationship between the intake of soluble fiber and the health of the stem cells in the body. Of course, we know that and a very important part of our immune system is found in the gut. So consuming enough fiber is going to help not only our immune system, but also the probiotics in our gut. So for that reason, fiber is a prebiotic, which is a food for the probiotics in our gut. So it's really multi-purpose in that respect. So you could say that fiber is really going to be synergistic with all of our LifeWave patches. But for this discussion, we would really focus in on 3 different patches, which is X39, glutathione, and of course, SP6. When people are interested in maintaining healthy weight or losing some extra body fat, of course, increasing soluble fiber would be a great way to do that. So we are very excited about releasing this new nutritional formula. So you're going to be hearing more about this in the coming months. But importantly, you are seeing now that we are including this information about this product on our website. We want people to know that we have a supplement coming where we can make claims about this product supporting the health and the vitality of the stem cells in the body, as well as activation of stem cells. So that's why you're seeing the information on our website today. I've tried this product. It is absolutely incredible. You're going to love taking it. And of course, you're going to love the benefits.